Kingsville Community Radio is the place to hear local and regional musicians every single day. Surf over to kingsvillecommunityradio.com to view the current radio schedule and to learn more about the mission of Kingsville Community Radio.
So with COVID, the governor did an extension on motor vehicle registration. He allowed motor vehicle registration expirations to go until April 14th. That was the deadline that they set. So it's important that you get it done now rather than later, because the longer you wait, the more risk you take on getting stopped, getting a citation, and also having to pay those surcharges or penalties. If you're subject to a traffic stop for expired registration or for other purposes and you have expired registration, obviously you're subject to citation at that point. Depending on the area you're stopped in, some departments may have a policy in place to actually tow a vehicle if the registration's expired. That's not something that we do locally. However, if you have other issues like your insurance is out of date, your driver's license is out of date, that's something where you're looking at a fine plus an impound, where you have impound fees, court costs, and it can really become expensive. So it's important that they get that done as soon as possible. For expired driver's license, expired registration, it can go up to $500 fine plus court costs. So it can range from $500 to $1,000 fine. I think another important thing to know is that your inspection stickers, although it's no longer a sticker that goes on your windshield, you still have to have inspections done. And if you don't have an inspection that's within 30 days of getting your registration, they're not going to accept it. So you'll save yourself a little bit of time waiting in line to get the registration done if you go beforehand and make sure that you get a current inspection done at a state licensed facility. We have Highway 77 that runs through our jurisdiction, so we do come across a lot of vehicles that are not local vehicles, but our traffic enforcement is pretty consistent within the city and on the highway. We normally impound only for no insurance, and the thought process behind that is if you get in an accident with no insurance, and injure somebody or even their property is not going to get covered because you're uninsured. And in order to get a vehicle out of our impound, you have to show current registration, current driver's license, and current insurance on that vehicle. Every police department has different policies and guidelines. They have to work within the law itself. But for example, a police department may have a policy where they impound vehicles for expired registration versus giving just a ticket. I can say our police department doesn't do that. We just issue a citation. If it's solely the registration or perhaps an unlicensed driver, we get a licensed driver as long as they have insurance. The insurance is the main determining factor other than an in-custody arrest. If there's somebody that's arrested that's operating a vehicle, normally the vehicle will also be impounded. But there is other jurisdictions that will impound vehicles for less, offenses. Such as registrations. So anything that's outside the legality of the transportation code that's a violation makes that vehicle unsafe to be on the roadway. However, normally we use discretion and don't put people off on the side of the road just for small infractions like registration.